So I'm going to explain to you in this video why tinnitus is so painful and terrifying for people. Because if you actually think about it logically, how could a benign sound cause so much terror and trauma and suffering? It doesn't make sense unless there's something deeper going on. And that's what I'm going to tackle in this video. So make sure you watch the entire thing. Here's what you have to realize, that what you're experiencing when you're experiencing all of this terror from tinnitus is you're having a mini ego death. Here's how I know this. Because what the you think is you, is what is happening to you is you're realizing that you don't have control. More terrifying, that the control that you thought you had was just an illusion. That's right, the control that you thought you had your entire life has been an illusion. This is very, very terrifying for someone who has lived their life believing that what they've accomplished and what they've done and who they are is by their efforts. Because then, if you are not what you think you are, and on top of that, you don't have control, then who are you and what do you really have control of? You see, now we're getting into the core of the suffering. Because the truth is, you don't really know who you are. You don't even know what you're going to eat 2 weeks from now. Can be emotions that have been inside of people that get triggered, and then people will commit heinous crimes. They will lash out in anger. They will behave erratically. And you think, where was that? Who was that person? What was triggered? What subconscious shame or anger or hatred or what was there that was not brought to the surface until this situation had happened? The truth is, most people carry deep subconscious shame. They believe love is something they have to earn. It's something they have to work towards. They believe that there's something too good to be true. It must be. Well, who told you that? Right? Who told you that? Somebody told you that. You see, what people believe, and this goes with tinnitus as well, what you believe, you were taught to believe. How many thoughts and ideas in your head do you actually choose to believe? Chances are, what you believe, all of the thoughts in your head, are an amalgamation of childhood trauma, things from pastors, teachers, parents, how to behave, what to think, don't disappoint the society, this is what success means, this is what failure is. All of that starts when we're children. We become indoctrinated. And it's only progressed with the age of the internet. A TikTok video will tell you relationship advice. A YouTube short will explain to you how to feel in a certain situation. And so now people don't even know who they are. So when you come up to, and you don't know who you are, you haven't spent time getting to know the real you, your soul, when you come up to something as terrifying as tinnitus that you can't control, you have an identity crisis. Your ego begins to shake and flinch because it realizes it never had control in the first place. At first, this is completely terrifying to believe this, and that's why people will do all of the wrong things. They will chase this cure, they will do that, change this diet, they will do everything in the book. And then usually when people come to me after 2 years of needless suffering, they come to me after they try to control it, and they say, I've done everything, and I don't know what to do. And I've said, you've tried to control it. But you're now realizing that you can't control anything. You can't even control your thoughts. Think about it. Sit down and try and meditate for 5 minutes. Can you turn your thoughts off? Nope. You can't even control your own thoughts. So, when you realize it's in that context, it's that my pain and suffering is coming from my false self, my flesh mind, my ego mind, not realizing finally that it's not in control, then that is the beginning of you becoming healed. Because if you can sit and finally rest in that and let go, you don't have control over the tinnitus. You don't have control over anything. You're put on this rock. Did you? You know? You don't even know what's, beyond the galaxies and stuff. The point I'm trying to say is you know so little, so how are you so sure that your suffering is permanent? Do you see what I'm saying? If you can begin to sit with your ego as it's flinching, as it's screaming, as it's crying, as it's saying, oh, it's going to be stuck like this forever, and you just observe it like a movie. Cool, bro. Nice story. I'm going to get back to living. It dethrones the ego. It dethrones the false you, the you that wants control over everything. You can begin to observe it as a movie, right? Take every thought captive. How could you take your thoughts captive if you were not outside your thoughts? You are outside your thoughts, and that's why you can take them captive. The problem is people believe their mind when it tells them you're going to be stuck. This is hopeless. People believe it because it sounds like them. It looks like them. It's coming from their own thoughts. But why wouldn't you believe it? But that's the trick. That's the mind trick. You have to see those thoughts and realize they're not true. I don't have to believe them if I don't want to. I can believe them. Thoughts are tools. You don't have to let them command you like you're a slave. You can choose to believe them if you want to. Maybe a thought's helpful. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a cool, bro. Thank you for that, but I'm going to continue walking in my peace and in my presence. So that is why tinnitus is so terrifying. It's a mini ego death. It's your ego realizing it doesn't have control. And that's completely terrifying to people who've lived their life in control, especially if they've gotten great success controlling every situation. To realize they have a situation that they can't control, it causes cosmic terror for a lot of people. So I hope you enjoy this video. If you want to work with me, make sure to hit the link in the description. Until next time, I'll talk to you later. Peace.